Hi, this is Raj from Dad Space, and we're here with Craig David. Your parents separated when you were younger. Did that affect the relationship that you had with your dad?
Do you know what? The great thing that my dad always showed from even the point when they broke up was that he was always there. He'd still make a conscious effort to come around and take me out. Conscious effort to take me to Polton's Park, which was like a fun park that would like go karting and doing all kinds of madness on a Sunday. Loved it. I didn't like it so much when he was like fitting a kitchen, being the carpenter he was at, and he brought me along and I had to sort of get involved with that and to not really get paid, which was not really what I was into. But that's what happens. You go, come on, Craig, come on, jump in the car. I was like, oh, come on, we're going to put the kitchen in your hands. I was like, oh, why? Long day, but some nice food in the meantime, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it was all about him taking me under his wing and letting him know from a young age that he was there. Because the older you get, the more you start to become a bit more aware of your surroundings, and you understand, you know what, you weren't really there for me. And when you try to come back into someone's life too late on, there's always this vision that you have of them not being around, and it's very hard to kind of get rid of. So I think when a child's susceptible as a young kid is when you have to really make the effort and to be there, because from the time you hit 16, 15, 16, you start to become a little adult yourself. Do you know what I mean? You can make your own decisions. But the young kid, you need a father figure there to be able to kind of keep you focused and to show support. But if you're not about to show support, the kid is always looking for that. Especially a boy is looking for his dad. Do you know what I mean? So it's an important role.
Have you thought about becoming a dad yourself?
Do you know what? I think you're always thinking about how it would feel and the responsibilities you have. And I think, to be honest, as a kid growing up, and even in my early 20s, you're kind of just thinking, every time that you get into some sort of sexual conquest with someone, to be honest, however it goes down, like, you could be the safest of safe sex ever, you're still thinking, man, whatever happens if this goes down here? That's always in the back of your mind, do you know what I mean? However cool you think you are, the following day, if there's someone that's a long-term partner, you think, you know what, you feel a lot more comfortable about the situation because you know that it's the two of you. But if you've got yourself into there's a little vibe, one night stand here, something's going on, you're thinking, man, if I get some call coming down, I don't know, was I a bit drunk, did I do it properly, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things go through your mind. So the father figure, being a father figure, I think you just have to be ready for whatever happens. I think it can happen at the weirdest of times where you never at least expect it, but not to run away from it. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if it happens for a reason, and everything does happen in that way, and you have to be responsible and deal with that and not be shying away from it like, oh, I just leave it to the mum to deal with. Do you know what I mean? Because that kid will grow up, and that kid could possibly be the next president. Do you know what I mean? Now it's opened it up now. You've the first black president of the United States of America, Lewis Hamilton being the first black Formula One race car champion, Serena and Venus Williams being the top of the world when they're playing tennis, Tiger Woods in golf. I mean, it's like, in terms of black people who've broken the mould, which have allowed people to recognise it's not about colour anymore. You can achieve all these different tasks that are out there. Now means there's more responsibility for a dad to be like, you know what, I may not get along with the mum too well. We've got our issues, but you know what, this kid I'm going to support and make sure this kid knows that I'm around for him, and I'm going to push him. You got to give him the environment, because the kids, they'll learn French, Spanish, fling a bit of Japanese at you, and you won't even know where it's coming. They will learn that quick, only if you instill that from an early age. If you're not about it, it'll just, you're hoping that someone will make the right decision.
If and when you do become a dad, have you thought of any crazy celebrity names to give them?
Do you know what? I tell you for sure that when I do have children, their names will be the names that will get them through school nicely. Because I know if you get that funky name, that anything like name of a fruit or something, anything that someone can just have a little pop at you is not the one. Because I know how it was at school, and it hasn't changed. It's probably even worse nowadays, and people will hammer you from the age where you recognise that your name is a bit of an issue all the way through to the point where you leave school. So I don't want to put my kid in that position, because they're going to have enough problems to deal with other children and dealing with society and a community within the school playground, let alone having their name all funky and kind of being all over the gaff. I know how it is. So names will be thought out correctly, and we will throw all the different combos that people could have at you first, and then we'll whittle it down to the best ones, and then we'll roll with that.
at Dad Space, we've just launched the world's best dad competition. Would you enter your own dad into that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been wicked. I mean, to be honest, as much as like my mum and dad split up, that is between them two. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that he kind of he's still my dad, and nothing's changed there. He may not be in my house, sleeping in the same house 24/7 like he used to. But yeah, definitely, he was a good man. All the way through, pushing me, got me into playing guitar from a young age, allowed me to be in the clubs when I was 15 years old, DJing when I should have like been at home in bed, like getting ready for my GCSEs. I'm up there rocking in at 3 o'clock in the morning with my feeling mash up after playing a sick set in some club. But he was wicked, and he still continued to be a supporter. So I'm definitely with him up.
Rewind reader Andrew has pointed out to us, he's done his research, that your dad was in a reggae band.
Correct.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has this led to you having a feel for reggae music? And if so, who are your favourite artists? And do you think you'll ever incorporate that into your music?
You know, I love my reggae music, to be honest. They're heavily influenced by reggae music. If it wasn't Sanchez or Beres Hammond, Gregory Isaacs, wow. There was those kind of artists were the ones that kind of set it off for me, and then got me into more the dancehall stuff with Shabba Ranks and Buju Banton and Bounty Killer. Then led on to me getting into the sound systems of Addis, Mighty Crown, Black Cat, Sound Trooper, or Kilimanjaro from back in the day. So I'm very big into my dancehall music. Love it like beyond belief. And there's songs like on the Trust Me record, which She's on Fire, where some people loved it, some people slated because I was doing a bit of a patois kind of like sort of lick on one of the tracks and the little rap. But I love it. Do you know what I mean? Because I can pull it off. There's no one can tell me, but you know that she so what you can't even hold back a fire, make her burn on contact deep like this track. Now whether she don't even hold back, snares out of them on them a crawl back. No one could tell me that. If they didn't know it was me, they'd be like, man, that sounds like Cuz Straight Fresh out of Jamaica. People can front if they want right now and say, nah, it sounds cack, but that's how I'm putting it down. And to be honest, that's for my dad's constant playing of reggae and ragga and dancehall from back in the day. So, but yeah, he did his Ebony Rockers thing. He was doing his Roots Revival stuff.
So it sounds like he's had a huge musical influence on you. Has he been instrumental in your success?
Do you know what he has? Because there's an unconditional love that your father will give you and your mother, and the fact of kind of pushing me to do the right thing. The fact that I had a good father figure in my life gave me a responsibility as his son to do him proud. And sometimes you can be a walkover to certain. You always lean to the person who is the lightest touch, the soft touch in your family that you think, I'll get away because my mum might be kind of the soft touch. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's hard mums out there as well. But you always lean to the weakest link to try and get what you want. Whereas my dad wasn't having it. If I got caught up in crime or if I was in drugs or anything, to have to face up to my dad, even looking at me was enough to make me cry. Do you know what I mean? And to know that, and it may be a bit back to front as to how people, the care for kids and to never lay a hand on a child, and maybe I'm old school, but I knew that to cross my dad and to know the possibility that I'd feel the firm hand of my dad made me think, you know what, I'm not going to get involved in none of this. Do you know what I mean? This is not the one because I'm scared of that. And it made me have to be responsible about my actions. Without that in the family, it kind of, and it's not about affirmative action in terms of having to be heavy-handed, but it's making you feel like if you go there, this is what you're delving into. Big man against a child. I think it reinforces that who's the dad, who's wearing the trousers here. Because as soon as you lose that, then a kid will just they'll run riot in that house. As soon as they know that they can take you there, you've lost it. You've lost control. There's no point in trying to come back.